So good morning friends. Today we will be basically discussing about the subqueries and derived tables. So today's agenda will be like to understand how exactly you read up the big queries. So whenever we see a very big query, like the main thing which you should focus on at first is like subdividing that query into various parts. And that parts are like the subqueries and the derived tables. So now what exactly is subquery and the derived tables? So if you see a picture over here, this has been taken from mysqltutorials.org. We will just come back to it. Let me go to the workbench at first. So whenever say like what I'm doing is like at first let us go ahead and create a table called as orders and employees. So I'm just dropping it first and like creating it. So I have just created up these two tables which are employees and orders. So now let us go ahead and insert value into employees table first. So I will just go ahead and insert value into employees table. So first point which I want you to focus now is like we are inserting value employees into employees table by hard coding it. First name it is hard coded. Last name it is hard coded. Hard coded means like we are not fetching it out from the software itself. We are giving it by ourselves. So this is a value which has been given by my keyboard and like I have like fixed it. So every time there these values will be like inserted into employees. But now what I want to do is like whenever I am like putting in the values into orders table and there are two columns into orders, which is employee ID and employee name. And these two columns actually like should get value from the employees table, right? So rather than hard coding them and like saying them Vineet has number 20, right? ID 20. So rather than just deleting it and saying 20 over here, what I am doing is I am giving a query. So this is nothing but a subquery. So whenever you are reading something like this, like which at outer stage you have a command, like this is the insert command, add, but in the inner stage you have a select command. So what you need to do is at first go to the innermost command, and this is what this is a subquery. So this says that select ID, select only the ID column because we just need one column and one value, otherwise it will give an error. I will just show you the error also. Let us go ahead and at first insert it. So if I insert it, you can see over here that we are able to insert it, right? This particular is green, value is green, and like we are able to insert it. But if I change it to something like this, like if you see over here that we are fetching out just one column, rather than fetching out one column, if we fetch out two columns from here, say something like this, and delete this. So you see over here that above we are saying that insert value into employee ID, employee name, order item, and status. There are in total four columns, but below we have like mentioned only three columns. One is this, second is this, third is this. Now there was a confusion between some of my students who said that this particular select statements is fetching out two columns. One is ID and second is first name. And then we have television and then we have shipped. So in total, this makes four columns. But there is a system in MySQL. MySQL will at first, like the parser and the optimizer will compare the placeholders. So what they will say, they will say status. Okay, we have a comma over here. So this is the value for status. Order item, this is the value for order item. Employee name, okay, this is the value of employee name. And then at the end it will say that for employee ID it does not find any placeholder. So anyhow, even if this had four particular like columns, but the placeholders are only three as per the insert statement. So when we go ahead and run it now, it will give an error saying that the column count does not match. You can see at the end it says that the column count does not match, right? So that is the reason that both of these statements have been like given separately. So you can see over here now the first placeholder is like just having one ID, and which is like fetching up the ID for Vineet. Vineet ID is 20. So at the end this particular value will replace itself with 20. So what exactly is a subquery? So whenever we use a select statement, it returns us a set of values or data in the form of table. So you can say that like that particular table is also a table, right? Like even in select star from table name, rather than giving the table name, we can give another query. So this is what is depicted by this. View of this picture again. So this is what is depicted up by this. So rather than I say and like select star from table name, we have given an inner query. So whatever table will be retrieved from this statement will be taken as the entire table for this from. This from will take this table, and this table is given a new name, which is the alias name for this table, which is derived table name. So I will just give you the live example of this particular scenario. Say for example, now we have the employees table, and in the employees table we have the age. So now we have to find the maximum age. How will we find? We will just select maximum age from employees, right? So as I do this and run it, I will get the maximum age, which is 82. So 82 is the highest among all of these, right? But what if I have to get the second max age? How will I get the second max age? So rather than saying employees, what I will say, I will give another inner employee, which is the derived table, and say select star from employees where age is not equal to max age, and another end to it. What this happens is rather than taking this table, it will take another table which will not have this value. If I go ahead and like copy it and paste it above and see the values of this table, if I run it, so employee table is okay. So we will say select max age from employees. That is make it more difficult then. So you see over here now, we have got, so what exactly the error was over here, we will like discuss it at the later stage. But again, this is again use of a subquery, like we have written a subquery and then again like we have, there was an error and then we again wrote a subquery. So it actually says that the maximum function was not allowed in the where clause. So this was the reason like it was giving us an error saying that the invalid use of group function. So it maximum is a group function. So it says that you cannot use this function over here. So what I did is like I find it out the maximum value. We can use the maximum in the select statement, right? So I just found out this value. So this will just return us what? So this becomes a more interesting example now. So at first we have this query. When we run it, so it gives us just 82. So at the end, like this particular thing will be replaced by 82 and it will say that select star from employees where age is not equal to 82. But this is dynamic. Whatever maximum age will be there, it will pick up that. We are not hard coding 82 directly into it, right? So rather than hard coding 82, we have given a statement, something like this, which is like giving us the 82. So at the end, like this particular statement means just a number which is 82. This is what I am what is meant by subquery. And the number of, like if it has two columns, three columns, five columns, so at the similar way, like this can be used only at places where like these column matches, like when you're inserting things into a table, so the column count should match, right? So now this replaces with 82, and then if we go ahead and see this table, so this employee table has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns. Okay, so if you see over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth number is missing, which makes it 8 columns. In total, this has 8 columns, right? And this has 9 columns and one row. Sorry, these are not columns, these are rows. And one row which is missing is this one, Nisha Agarwal, because this has the maximum age. So we are saying select star from employees where max age is not equal to 82. This row has been deleted. And now this particular table, this is a derived table. We have a main table and we derived a table out of it by removing one row which was having age 82. So now we have derived this table and now we are using this table into this particular statement. And now we are fetching out the maximum age out of this table. So at the end, as per the employees table, this maximum age will be the second maximum age, right? So if I go ahead and run it, so again, this is giving me an error because I am giving a max function over here. I will just copy this statement and replace it in this query. So this is the table name. This is where the table name should come, right? So rather than giving a table name, I am giving up this derived statement. Run it. It says every derived table must have its own alias. So this should have a name. So I'll just give it a name saying that table 1. This is nothing an error like a big error. Now just run it and see you get 76. So 76 is the second maximum age. After 82, 76 is the second maximum age in this table, and this is the statement which gives us the second maximum age. So in the similar way, like you can use it to find the n maximum age. Obviously, like for MySQL, I always recommend to use the limit function. But for today's agenda was to read, to know about the like the derived table and the subqueries. So I will just go ahead and move to the again to the particular this image. So you can see over here that this is the same image where it says that this is the table derived table and it must have an alias. This is also like we have seen. It must have an alias. This is the name of the derived table. So in the where clause, if you need to mention something out of it, so you can use the name of the derived table, right? And then the column name. This is the column name. And this is the name of the derived table. This is the condition, greater than condition, and this is the value for that condition, right? And these are the column list at the outermost area. So at last, before closing up this chapter, I would like to go ahead and like discuss a query with you and let's see how we will read it. For example, you get a query something like this. How will you actually read this query? So this is a very big query, right? So from where you should start it? So you should start it from the innermost. At first you will see from the very top, see that this is the column list which will be extracted. Then there is a from. So just mark this from. And as we move on, we see that this from has one table. So you can just go ahead and say this is one table, this is second table, and this is third table. The third table is so big. First table, select star from first table, second table, and this is the third table. And this is the like condition on which like things are matched on, and at last we have the order by. So that is okay. So at the end you need to understand for this query, which is the inner query, and like within this query, now we will see within this query these are the column names which are retrieved. That is okay. Then from sales, inner join product, inner join stores, and at the end group by function. So at first read this query. Whatever table has been extracted from this query is actually the derived table, and it has a derived name which is C as C. So this is the derived table, and then after understanding this table, then you can say that this table like product combines with store combines with this table, and at the end we like see all of them and then we fetch the result. So what exactly the agenda of this training was to make sure that you understand that at first you need to go dig inside and see the inner query at first, then move out of each of them and like then go to the outer query at the end. So we will discuss about joins in the later chapters. So this brings this chapter to the close, and next we will like start discussing on union, intersects, and like then on joins. Thank you guys. Have a great